All right, guys. This year, with Trey Lance taking over the job, it's Super Bowl or bust. Anything less is a disappointment for the Niners. So let's talk about it. Yo, visiting my parents, so I'm at my mom's house in her basement right now. Different setup. This isn't the usual setup, but let's get right into it and let's talk about Trey Lance. Shout out and I'll rank for the information. But as you guys know, they got to the championship game, and honestly, they were an interception away from, a dropped interception away from winning that, arguably. But let's talk about it, okay? They beat the Packers in the playoffs again, and then they also had a great run, and I feel like they're right there. They're right there. And obviously the low point was losing in the championship game. And it was just wild, because for me, I think this is a year. Kyle Shanahan, I'm a huge fan of. I think Kyle Shanahan is going to continue to become one of the best coaches in the NFL. Like, we'll look in 15, 20 years when he retires or something, we're going to be like, holy shit, Kyle Shanahan revolutionized the game with Sean McVay. And he's led them to a Super Bowl already. He's led them to multiple NFC Championship games, okay? And now he has what some might call the prototypical quarterback at the position for him finally. So obviously Jimmy G's still on the roster, and he's recovering from the shoulder surgery that we know that they're waiting for him to be able to pass physical and I guess display the ability to throw a football well and be healthy so they can trade him. And if he isn't traded, it seems like they're going to straight up cut him, because at this point, look, they traded up for Trey Lance, passed on Mac Jones and Justin Fields, that people are going like, they're better. But guys, call him Trey Lance at North Dakota State was a dog. And Garoppolo, if he's not healthy, I don't expect him to be on the roster, because tell me down below, do you guys expect him? Because it'll divide the fan base in the locker room. Because if Lance ever struggles, everybody will be like, throw Garoppolo in there. So I think getting rid of Garoppolo will allow Trey Lance to be fully confident. It's like when Alex Smith got traded by the Chiefs for Mahomes. So Mahomes knows that no matter how well or how much he struggles, the job is his. And that's what they need to do with Trey Lance, in my opinion. And then Nick Bosa. Nick Bosa had 15 and a half sacks last year. And I love Nick Bosa. I actually think he's better than Joey Bosa. And look, Nick Bosa and Deebo Samuel, they're going to be cooking. And I personally think Deebo Samuel, everything's going to work out with Deebo. I think he'll be compensated fine. And I wonder if they're going to continue to use him as a running back or try to see if they use a different guy because the whole thing is he doesn't want to have that workload. He wants to have a long career, not a short career, because if you look at the length between a running back's career and a wide receiver career, a wide receiver plays a bit longer. My dog has joined the video. Jasmine has joined the chat. Now, guys, Drake Jackson. He was the team's first pick in this year's draft, 61st overall, and he actually seems like he could be someone who can help, okay? Bosa is the team's core, but Jackson could really be his sidekick. And some people think he's going to be great. Other thinks he's going to be Eli Harold, as Adam Rank said. But I think he could be good. And then, their secondary is pretty decent, I think. Ambry Thomas, who was out for a lot of last year, and I know he had a bad game where Jamar Chase in Week 14 destroyed him, but I think he's going to be a starter who could have a good year for them. Now, obviously, this team, this team, I know people are going to say, oh, they've gotten worse. Look, I think personally the 49ers, they've grown. And they played really well last year for the amount of injuries that they had, okay? And I'm a big Jim Harbaugh guy, so I think this is the best era we've had since the Jim Harbaugh. I mean, which isn't hard. But like Kyle Juszczyk and, Jermichael Hasty and Elijah Mitchell and Trey Sermon and even Jeff Wilson, who I completely forgot about Jeff Wilson. They have backs on this team, a lot of them, a lot of running backs, okay? A lot of guys, a lot of mouths to feed. And they even had Tyron Davis-Price, who they brought in from LSU, okay? And there's, what is Juan Jennings and Brandon Ayuk, and Keyshawn Johnson. Ray McLeod's more of a, special teamers. And Malik Turner all behind Deebo Samuel. And they still have, Ross Dwelly, obviously George Kittle, our man. Also, I love the fact that Jordan Matthews is still trying to make it back into the NFL, and he's trying to do it this year. He's spent the past 2 years with San Francisco, and he's basically becoming a tight end since last year. And I hope it works out. I want to see Jordan Matthews as a tight end. I love Jordan Matthews. This guy had almost 1,000 yards in his second season. His first 2 years, he had 16 touchdowns combined. But they have a good tight end room, okay? And then you look at the defense, Armstead, okay, Bosa, D Ford, if he can get back to form, that's cool. Hurst Jr., okay, Kerry Hyder, Drake Jackson, Javon Kinlaw, even though he had that outrage, Jordan Willis. This line is good, okay? And then you go over Dre Greenlaw, okay? I know I'm going to mess up his name, but Al-Shaair. I think he's somebody from FAU who could take a jump, okay? Who could be a big old dog. They put a second-round restricted free agency tender on him, okay? Flanagan Fowles, okay? Fred Warner. And then on their defensive back, I think Castro Fields, the rookie, could make a impact. Jason Verrett, I think, is going to be decent. And they brought in, Jadarius Ward. I think he's definitely somebody. Also, if I got any names wrong, I grew up with foreign parents whose for both of them, whose third languages were English. So, or even for my dad, I think it's his fourth or fifth. But either way, I'm going to continue this video. So I think the San Francisco 49ers, this team is loaded, okay? They still have one of the best kickers in the league in Robbie Gould. And look, what's going to happen is, first off, they got to beat up. Trey Lance has to beat down Justin Fields in week 1. Then week 8, when they're going to be hosting the Rams, and then they're going to go into their week 9 bye, but they're going to be playing the Rams and the Chiefs in that span, and they need to beat the Rams and the Chiefs to really show that they're big dogs, that they can face against good teams and beat them. When they play the Rams and the Chiefs, those are 2 big games. They got to win in week 1. They got to beat the Rams and the Chiefs. They got to beat the Rams at least once. They got to beat the Chiefs when they play them. And then week 18, when they play the Cardinals, that one's going to be a doozy. So obviously, we saw Christian Kirk get that big deal, Devontae Adams, Tyreek Hill, A.J. Brown, and Deebo asked for a trade, but supposedly they're close to a deal, but there's been some reports that Deebo wants out because he wants to play closer to his home in South Carolina, and the other reasons are for running the ball less, but I think we're going to get it figured out. Now, they lost Laken Tomlinson, and I know a lot of people are going to be like, the Niners line sucks, but I think it's fine. Aaron Banks, Jake Brendel, Daniel Brunskill, Spencer Burford, who they drafted as a guard, Alfredo Gutierrez, who is actually an international player from Mexico, and he's been on the practice squad, but it seems like he could be someone who comes up. Mike McGlinchey, the Notre Dame graduate, is great. Jalen Moore, Colton McKivitz, and Justin Skoll, Keaton Sutherland, Donovan West, Trent Williams is still there. As long as Trent Williams is still there, they're going to be one hell of a football team. But they also lost Tom Compton. But Aaron Banks, second round pick in 2021, will get left guard. And Spencer Burford has some, upside. And then Trent Williams, Trent Williams is just amazing. Now, George Kittle loves Trey Lance. And George Kittle is one of my best players. And he was on Pat McAfee's show, and he literally said that, how much he loves Trey Lance and his ability. So, and he had him at his Iowa camp, or for tight ends, I believe. And then, they have so many running backs. They're going to continue to do it. And they also brought in Tyron Davis-Price, like I mentioned earlier. So, look, Shanahan's not on the hot seat or anything, but this team is a championship team, and championship windows don't stay open forever. So you got to cash in now, Okay, this is a team that they can't stay pussyfooting around. Okay, they need to go all the way in. Okay, so that's it. That's my thoughts for today. I'm in my mother's basement. Not my parents. My parents are separated. But I hope you guys did enjoy today's video. I need to get a haircut. That's it. I have an NBA channel. That's my main channel. I'll post more on the NBA channel. You should peep it. It's a good old time. But besides that, guys, go check out my NBA channel. I have an NBA show too on a different channel that I do with a bigger NBA YouTuber, Will Upton, aka Jackson, and we're daily Monday through Friday, 10:30 Eastern Time, 9:30 Central Time, 7:30 a.m. Pacific, so 8:30 Mountain Time. Peep that. I'm also milking this for a few more seconds because we're gonna get this to 11 minutes. But thank you for all the support. We had 400 subscribers. Let's get to 1,000. Let's get to 1,000, guys. Bye.